Today we're taking a look at GoPros. In particular, what are the best settings for GoPros? I've been using them for about 3 or so years between filming what I'm doing right now and then also using them for barrel mounts. I've always thought that action cameras in general were for a particular reason. You bought them because you needed to get a shot that you couldn't get with a camera like this. Since the GoPro Hero 7 came out with the hyper smooth technology for stability, it's really been a game changer with action cameras. You also have the Osmo Action and the Insta360 cameras as well that allow you to get this incredibly smooth footage. So they're a lot more useful than they used to be. They used to be a one-trick pony, those cameras, and now I find them a lot more beneficial just to have in your pocket to get random B-roll and stuff like that, since they're so easy to use handheld. So we're gonna dip into those GoPro settings and I'll show you what I personally do to maximize the quality on them. And yes, I know I need to get a haircut. This whole everything being closed has not been good to me right now. But the barbers are open now, so we'll get her done. Couldn't make it. That guy right there, that stopped me. Okay. Onto the settings. So the first thing I always change is I go into the settings and I turn on the Pro Tune. As you can see, I have it on already, but that's like a must. You must have the Pro Tune turned on. And this is a big one after this. You scroll down and you find sharpness. As you can see, I have mine set to low. The reason for that is these cameras over sharpen, similar to like cell phones. So I'll always put that to low. I'll show you a side by side with normal sharpness and low sharpness. The next thing I always do is adjust the color profile to flat. If you have no idea what to do with color grading though, the colors that come out of the GoPro are fine, but you do get more dynamic range if you use the flat profile, so it is beneficial in the long run. Personally myself, I'm not amazing at color grading, but I'm learning, and so I like doing it on the GoPro. The other thing I do is I set the ISO maximum to 400. The reasoning for that is that these cameras will work in lower light situations, but they make the image look really pixelated, and so you don't really want to do that. So if it's going to be too dark for this camera, just don't bother using it, in my opinion, and maybe switch to a more professional camera, or even your cell phone for that matter. And then for the resolution, I always stick with 4K 60. It is the best format on this camera. Exception though is if you switch it to 2.7K, you can do the narrow view if you don't want to have the fishbowl effect. Essentially, it curves the edge with the fishbowl. If you do the narrow view, it'll actually straighten the edges and it won't have that GoPro look. It'll have more of a camera like this. So there was just some sample footage of the GoPro in action with the settings I'm using. Well, showing a color grade not with the flat profile to give you an idea. I tried to find a lot of color and stuff like that so that it would really show it off a little bit better. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was useful. And if you have any tips or advice with the GoPro, leave it in the comments below. You know, there's probably something I'm missing here that you may know that you've learned on using it. So let me know in the comments below. And so if you made it this far in the video and you're still watching, I got one little tip for you too. That's not necessarily related to the GoPro, but it's definitely something that will help your quality when it comes to uploading on YouTube. Render your project out in 4K. The reasoning being is when you upload it to YouTube, it'll still be in 4K, even if you record it in 1080p.
and then rendered it out in 4K, it'll still work and it'll give you better looking footage unless you're on a 4K monitor, but it's gonna look bad anyways, even if it's uploaded in 1080p. So it doesn't really matter, but it will for people watching in 1080p. It'll look better, a lot better. Trust me on this one, do it. All right, give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.